So I believe that context matters, and some people wanted to give a little bit of context, right? One person said another person who's black when it's negative, and saying black men in NYC are mostly dating other races, and she can't find love, but NYC is filled with them. Another person said she's Afro-Latina. When I lived in NYC, I had absolutely no problem getting a date. I stayed with the man. The black and Caribbean men in New York are actually pretty assertive comparatively to other men. I'm not sure if it changed or what, but nah. The response exactly. They love using black when the connotation of the topic is negative, but if it was positive and the men in her ethnicity were choosing on her, she would be loud and proud about being Afro Latina. All right, so this is her page directly on TikTok, right? And this is where that clip that I was able to get for you guys came directly from. So let's go through some of the comments of what it is that she got 5,601 comments. So let's just see what some people have to say. One person said, it's better to be alone than to be in bad company. Another person said, don't limit yourself to one community. Love and partnership can take so many different forms. Another person said, I'm actually really scared. I hope that's okay to say. Another person said, I want to cry reading every comment. Why is this extremely common? We deserve so much love. I wish we could all find it. Another person, I waited until I was 33, then I started seriously dating outside of the community. I was married at 39. Another person said, date outside of black men. You'll be surprised how much more you have in common with people you don't even think. It blew my mind and I wish I was open a lot sooner. Another person said, to all of my beauty gods, brought me my husband at 42. Keep hope alive. A brother stepped in and said, black love is alive. Another person said, in a galaxy far, far away. Laughing emojis. Another person said, foul. Another person said, I'm right there with you, sis. 37. Traveled and found a career I love. No one to share it with, but we must keep hope alive. Another person said, black love exists. You still have time. Another person, you better date out. What are you waiting for? Eye emojis. Another person, make sure you're putting in the same effort into dating as you did your accomplishments. Fairy tales do not exist. Genuine connections take work. Keep going. That's facts. That's the only person that I literally read through and told her, like, yo, all of that effort, all of that time that you put directly into your career, do that for your relationship. You're not going to hear a lot of women say that. They feel that once they build themselves up, that's it. They don't have to do any more work. They don't have to work on themselves any further because they feel that they just built themselves up to the highest of the highest of the highest, right? Another person said, try other communities and outside of America. Another person had the same realization, started to not only accept it, but enjoy a life solo. Then bam, met my boyfriend abroad. Another person, Kevin Samuels was right, but a lot of people don't want to hear it because of the tone. Another person, this space feels safe. Thank you. Another person, my therapist says, it's so many of us like this. Love. It's not fair, but we got to love ourselves and the rest will take care of itself. Another person said, had a child with the worst man ever and my heart gets filled with regret often. You're doing great. Keep your head up. Another person, there's absolutely is life after realization. Mourn if you must, but life is just the beginning. Another person, rip Kevin Samuels. Another person, I'm 28 and can relate. Another person, they say whenever you stop wanting something, that is when you'll find it. Another person, but I feel so lonely. I want a black man who truly loves me. Another person, you're still young. I'm 40, no kids, never married, and still have hope. Your time will come. Another person, being alone physically is better than being alone in a relationship. Believe me, honestly, widen out more too. Step outside of your comfort zone. You never know what can come out of it. Next, I'm claiming joy, love, and all of life's fulfillment for all the black women in the comments. Next, hey, It's not just you, it's the location and the people around you who doesn't understand your value. Explore the world to discover how wrong they are. And remember, you are beautiful. Another person. Not true. You attract what you believe. Once you believe you deserve love and stand on it, it comes, but you got to know what love is and your love needs. Another person. I met my husband at 40, married at 44, and I'm actually glad because I don't know that my 20 or 30-year-old me was actually ready for marriage. Praying for all the sisters out there. Next, I normally don't comment on this platform, but ladies, we as men go through the same thing. I know I do. You're gorgeous. Definitely are going to be a wife soon to a lucky guy. Stay beautiful. Stay blessed. Actually, I want to know underneath this comment what people had to say. Right? Second this. Somebody else said, how do you go through the same thing when it's black men who are extremely vocal about not wanting black women? Another person said, stop focusing on the black men who don't want you and focus on the black men who do. Or do black women not want those black men? I have to give a like directly for that one because I don't think a lot of people actually realize that, because when you look at what it is that she's stating, she's like, hey, I built my career. I'm the woman. But when I look around, I see all of these black men basically dating all of these other women, and none of them want to date me. I'm a little bit confused. You're only focused on the guys that you deem or to find worthy and or attractive. You want them because they're with other women. But outside of that small minority, you're not looking at the vast majority of black guys who are in New York City every single day, walking around, going to and from work, to and from Starbucks, to and from the bank, to and from the grocery store, going to a bodega. You're not looking at any of those other black men. You're just specifically looking at the black men who are probably somewhere in Manhattan with a white girl, somewhere in, some other area, Queens or whatnot or whatever, and they're with like a Latin woman. You're not looking at any other black women. You're not looking at any other black men directly out there. And again, this is her problem. She's only specifically looking at the men who have somebody, right? She's not looking at the single guys. She's not looking at the guys that other women ain't looking at. She's only looking at the guys that are highlighted by way of what another woman is deeming is acceptable and attractive, which is, for me, again, that's completely crazy. This is where I'm at. I'm with the first person where they said that it's pretty funny that when it's negative, magically everybody wants to consider themselves black, meaning that when you have something negative to state about black men, magically, oh, I'm a representation of a black woman, yada yada yada, all this other type of stuff, right? And then you hear the scenario, but if the men of her community were specifically picking her, were going after her continuously, like it was to like no end, then she would be like, oh, I'm a proud Afro-Latina in NYC, and I consistently can always keep a guy, I can always get dates and yada 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 and all this other type of stuff. So this is in a sense feeding into the same stereotype that no matter where a black woman is, if she's a black woman, if she is successful, then no black man out there is going to want to date her. They're going to opt to date somebody else because they can't handle a strong, independent, black woman. That's what she's trying to say. That's what she's trying to give off, trying to put this directly out there. It's a very tired narrative because it makes it seem as though that black men would be accepting of women of other nationalities who have degrees, right? Who masters or entrepreneurs, head of corporations, whatever it is. We are more accepting of when it's coming or when it's having to do with other women. And we're not accepting of black women doing it because we want them to be under our foot. We want them to, be under our control, and we want to be able to tell them everything to do. We want to be able to control every facet of their life. We want to like that makes no sense. I'm not sure if you're, talking about a specific group from a whole nother timeline, but obviously you're not in 2024. Obviously we're not in the same year, at this moment in time. Again, it's a tired narrative. It's a very, very tired narrative. You have black women out here who are either engaged, who are married, or in a relationship with black men. And these black women are successful. But yet, when we talk about these things, nobody wants to bring up those black women being in a successful marriage or a relationship or a partnership with black men. Nobody wants to bring that up. They always want to focus on the quote unquote, what they consider to be the desirable black men. Those are the only ones that matter. So when all of those desirable black men are with who not and whoever, that's when you see a whole bunch of women online piping up and talking about, oh, look at these black men out here dating this, that, and the third, and yada yada yada. But what about the black men that you don't consider desirable? What about the standard issue, quote unquote, black men directly out there that are just doing to and from, working two jobs and they got their apartment and all? What about those guys? Right? Would it matter if they were dating a black woman or not? I obviously I guess not, because it doesn't matter up until those dudes are highlighted and they're successful, or people can actually breathe in their success or their accomplishments, right? If you got a standard issue black dude who is considered not to be attractive, no black woman out here is going to care if he's with uh whoever directly out here, a Latin woman, European woman, Canadian, whatever you want to call it. They're not going to care. If you are attractive, if you are aesthetically pleasing, if you are something that they would consider that they would actually want to get married to or engaged or want to have a child with, oh yeah, screaming and crying, and black men ain't this and that and everything with a baseball hat, right? That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. But I just find it a little bit interesting how she is, trying to pull this narrative, but she doesn't want to talk about the men of her community, right? And how it is that she is selectively, going after them, because she's not. She's just sitting back in the wind. She's sitting in a cut thinking that somebody's going to fly directly to her, that somebody's going to catch a whiff of her perfume because she's sitting at the bar by herself ordering drinks, and she thinks that just because she's dolled up, she looks nice, and she got this nice perfume, that's just going to attract guys. No. You're going about it the whole wrong way there, champ. You're going about it the whole wrong way. But again, like I said before, I wanted to bring this video directly out because, a lot of black women out there will follow the narrative. Again, as long as it's negative and it appears to be a black woman speaking, they're going to be like, hey, this is what we're talking about when it deals with black men. You black men aren't dating us. You guys don't want us. So this is why we need to look abroad. This is why we are traveling. This is why we're getting our stuff together. This is why this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, everybody who looks like you is not for you and is not about you at the end of the day. But again, it's hard to tell, people that when they're so emotionally caught up and entangled in a multitude of situations, especially things that they have not inwardly looked at and fixed and, moved on from. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that's stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.